There is an island just miles away from New York City, but no tourists visit here, no ferries bring in sightseers, and very few people even know about it. Over 1 million bodies are buried here, nameless, forgotten, and stacked in mass graves. Hart Island is one of the most haunting places in New York City, and yet the city has been able to keep it a secret for a very, very long time. But why? What secrets lie beneath its soil? Today, we uncover the chilling history of New York's forbidden graveyard. Hart Island isn't just a burial ground, it's a place for those that society abandoned. Unclaimed bodies, the homeless, stillborn infants, and even victims of various pandemics rest here in simple pine boxes. No funerals, no headstones, just a number to mark their place. But here's the shocking truth. These graves were dug by inmates from Rikers Island. Even in death, these people are treated as if they never mattered.
History of the island, and we ask the question, what do we owe each other? So we look at the city and its history with Hart Island. It purchased the island back in 1868, and this island has been in use by the city since 1869, so that's 155 years. It's 155 years of history, of institutions, of people that came here in those institutions, working in those institutions. So in the North Tour, that's what our focus is on, and it's also a great overall history of the island. For the Southern Tour, we still do talk about the history, and we focus on the voices of the people who are part of the communities that were built in the isolation here on Hart Island. Whether that was the community of the Phoenix House, whether that was inmates who were performing the burials for the majority of the time here on Hart Island. The reason that we do these programs is to help to destigmatize the island and to bring light of the reality of the island. For the longest time, this island was isolated, not only physically by the water, but also by access, about people being able to visit the island, finding the graves of their loved ones. So now we provide a bit more of an opportunity for people to come across and truly discover the history of the island and how it has also mirrored the history of the city that we live in.
This past November 2023, we worked for about a year doing primary and secondary research, consulting with other institutions, national archives, and historians to try and uncover as much as we could about the island so that we could tell a comprehensive history. Now the work is never done. We are continuously finding out new information, new histories, updating our information, and so we're excited for you to be a part of that, to see what things are happening and changing. Ranger Mike has an image just so that we can see how lively the island was.
Yeah, because there was a lot of infrastructure that was needed for these institutions. Everything from workhouses, the Nike missile silo, the soldiers that were stationed here, they needed lodging as well. There was a warden's house, which is actually would have been in the footprint of this stone fence that we see here today. So this just kind of gives us a glimpse of some of the history of the island and some of the structures that at one time covered this island. A lot of these structures no longer exist. Most of them have been demolished, and the chapel was part of was on the list to be demolished actually, but there was enough voices that were raised and public opinion that was raised that caused the city to say, okay, we will not destroy it. And now we see the work being done back there because of the people who are interested in preserving the history here on the island.
This island has been a mass burial site since the 1860s. Tens of thousands of bodies are buried in trenches, mostly 150 in each row, stacked 3 stories deep. The city calls it Potter's Field, a final resting place for those who had no one to claim them. Even today, about 1,500 bodies are buried here every year.
Unit. This group specifically here, we're all part of the Honor Guard unit. We were tasked with leading family visitations onto Hart Island when Parks took over from Department of Corrections. So I'm going to kind of walk you through what the visitation will look like. 9 Fordham Street. Normally at 9:30, we'll meet the families at the gate. We'll ask everybody to have their identifications out. We'll greet them, and then we'll walk them over onto the dock.
Before it became a cemetery, it was a prisoner of war camp during the Civil War. Confederate soldiers were locked away here, and many never made it out alive. Over the decades, it became a prison, a mental asylum, a tuberculosis hospital, and even a Cold War missile base. It was always a place for unwanted, whether dead or alive. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, Hart Island was home to a workhouse where the city's undesirables were sent. People who were poor, mentally ill, or just out of luck. Many who lived here never left. They simply became part of the island's growing graveyard. During the COVID-19 pandemic, when hospitals were overwhelmed, thousands of bodies were sent here for burial. In a single month, more than 1,000 New Yorkers were laid to rest in mass graves on this island. The world may have moved on, but these stories remain buried here. Many families had no idea that their loved ones were buried here. For years, the city did not make the records public, leaving families searching for answers. Imagine losing someone and never knowing where they are finally resting. For decades, Hart Island was strictly off limits. The city did not want people asking questions about the mass graves. Even grieving relatives were denied access. It wasn't until a few years ago that first visitors were allowed to set foot on the island, of course under tight restrictions. Despite public pressure, access remains limited and the place is still stigmatized. Unlike regular cemeteries, Hart Island is controlled by different departments of the state government.
Can you explain to me who these people are?
Yeah, so these are colored troops who were black troops in the Civil War. They were at this hospital. This individual here was in the 31st U.S. Colored Troops, so he would have trained here on Hart Island. And then he's at this hospital trying to recover from a wound that an infection that he got during.
You can only visit if you provide that a relative is buried here. The question remains, why does this one part of the city remains hidden and stigmatized? Hart Island isn't just a collection of graves, it's a collection of stories. Each person buried here had a life, a history, and dreams that were never fulfilled. Some were war veterans who served their country, yet died with no one to claim them. Others were artists, musicians, lost to addiction or hardship. One of the most famous people buried here is Bobby Driscoll, the original voice of Disney's Peter Pan. Once a Hollywood star, he was later abandoned by industry, struggled with drug addiction, and was found dead in an abandoned building. And he's not the only one. Hart Island is filled with unknown names, lost stories, and a history the city would rather forget. Today, activists are fighting to transform Hart Island into a place of remembrance. There are plans to turn it into a public memorial, allowing families and visitors to come here and pay their respects. But change is slow, and many still struggle to gain access. The fight for dignity, even in death, continues. So now I ask you, should places like Hart Island remain in the shadows, or should their stories be told? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.